2026 and 2027 Mercedes Maybach GLS 800 pickup truck revealed everything you need to know before buying. Have you ever wondered what happens when absolute luxury refuses to stay inside a limousine and decides it wants a truck bed? Not a concept, not a rumor, not a design study, a real production vehicle, and not just any pickup, a Mercedes Maybach pickup. If that sounds impossible, you are not alone, because Maybach has never built a pickup truck. Not once, not in its early days, not during its revival, not even when luxury SUVs exploded worldwide. Yet here we are, and what you are about to hear might completely change how you think about luxury trucks. Welcome back to AutoLens. If you care about future vehicles, real engineering, and cars that push boundaries, make sure you are subscribed, because this channel exists for moments exactly like this. So let me ask you again, what kind of buyer needs a truck bed but refuses to give up a massage seat? That question is the reason this truck exists. Internal documents from Stuttgart surfaced quietly, not through marketing, not through teasers. Real homologation data, a vehicle code, X167, Maybach pickup, night edition. Most people assumed it had to be fake. It was not. What Mercedes is preparing for the 2026 and 2027 model years is the most unexpected, ultra-luxury pickup truck ever approved for production. The Mercedes Maybach GLS 800 pickup, 800 horsepower, a price close to $400,000, limited global production, and a waiting list that already stretches longer than the truck itself. Over the last weeks, industry insiders, suppliers, and select executives have seen this vehicle in person, and every single one of them says the same thing. This is not a showpiece. This is not a branding exercise. This is a machine built for a buyer most brands do not even recognize. In this AutoLens deep dive, we are breaking everything down. What it is, why it exists, how it is engineered, and most importantly, whether this truck was ever meant for someone like you. And if that sounds interesting, hit subscribe now, because this is not the kind of vehicle you hear about every day. Let us start with something important. The Maybach GLS 800 pickup does not look like a luxury SUV that someone added a bed to. It looks like a truck. That became a problem. The paint is matte black, not glossy, not metallic. Matte, the kind of finish that does not reflect the world, but absorbs it. Every body panel sits flush, every gap measured in microns. This is not about drama. This is about control. The fender flares are wide, functional, and placed exactly where physics demands. Nothing exaggerated, nothing decorative. Form follows function, and the function here is dominance. The front grille is vertical, chrome slats behind the three-pointed star, centered, perfect, like a signet ring on a closed fist. The headlights are thin, sharp, and intelligent, adaptive matrix LED units with 84 individually controlled zones. That matters because this truck does not just illuminate the road, predicts it where other trucks react. This one anticipates. The bed itself deserves attention. Most pickups treat the bed as an afterthought. Here, it is part of the design language, framed in chrome, lined with brushed aluminum, soft LED lighting, embedded directly into the rails. The tonneau cover retracts silently with a single button. No noise, no drama. You could load tools, luggage, or priceless artwork. It does not matter. What matters is that the bed was engineered with the same obsession as the cabin. This truck sits on 24-inch forged wheels, black chrome, wrapped in all-terrain Pirelli Scorpion tires. They look aggressive, yet refined. The air suspension can raise the chassis nearly 3 inches, not for show, but for capability. And now something subtle, but important. When you walk toward this truck, it responds. Not loudly, not theatrically. The mirrors unfold. The lights pulse once. The suspension adjusts. Not to impress you, to prepare. Other trucks use key fobs or smartphone apps. This one uses biometric recognition, built directly into the door handles. Capacitive sensors. Read your fingerprint. If you are authorized, the truck wakes up. If you are not, nothing happens. No warnings, no explanations, just silence. Put your hand on the door handle. It is cool, machined, flush with the body. As your fingers approach, it extends slightly. You pull, and the door opens. With weight, real weight, the kind that tells you, this is not thin metal. This is structure. This is armor. This is a vault. On wheels. And when you step inside, the outside world stops existing. You are not in a truck. You are in a controlled environment. Black Napa leather, hand-stitched, with silver contrast thread. So fine, it looks like code, written across the seats. The driver's seat offers 20-way power adjustment, heating, ventilation, 6 massage programs. Not gimmicks, actual support. The steering wheel is thick, perforated, heated, touch-sensitive controls, embedded into the spokes. Behind it, magnesium paddle shifters, cold, solid, precise. They feel expensive, because they are. In front of you, 2 12-inch displays, fused under one sheet of glass. The left is a fully digital instrument cluster. The right is the MBUX infotainment system. You speak, "Hey Mercedes, set temperature to 72. Half a second later, it is done. No confirmation, no repetition, just compliance. And then, the ambient lighting, pink, soft, subtle, intentional, running along the dashboard, through the door panels, beneath the seats. This is not decoration. It is psychology. Studies show pink light reduces cortisol levels and reinforces feelings of calm authority. That is not an accident. The sound system is a Burmester setup, 27 speakers, 1500 watts. But here is what matters. It is not about loudness. It is about absence. Silence is where this truck shows its power. The rear seats are executive class, reclining, heated, ventilated. Each passenger gets their own climate zone, wireless charging, and a personal screen embedded into the seat in front. This is not a cabin. This is a reset button. Before we go further, make sure you are subscribed, because next, we are getting into the powertrain, and this is where things become even more interesting. So what happens when you press the start button? In a truck like this, do you expect noise, drama, a roar? Because that is not what you get. You press the button, and almost nothing happens. No explosion of sound, no aggressive startup sequence, just a low controlled hum. Because under the hood is not chaos, it is discipline. A 4-liter twin-turbo V8, paired with EQ Boost mild hybrid technology, 800 horsepower, 737 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers sound extreme, and they are. But what matters more is how they are delivered. This engine does not shout. It commands 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. Let that sit for a moment. A Maybach pickup for 0.2 seconds. For reference, the Ram TRX does it in about 4.5 seconds with a supercharged V8. The GMC Hummer EV does it quicker, thanks to instant electric torque. But here is the difference. The Maybach GLS 800 pickup does this while carrying more luxury, more sound insulation, and more refinement than either of them. This is not raw power. This is controlled authority. The transmission is a 9-speed automatic that feels almost telepathic. It does not wait for your command, predicts it. Throttle position, road incline, drive mode, even how your right foot has behaved over the last 30 seconds. It selects the gear before you realize you need it. In comfort mode, shifts are invisible. In sport, they are decisive, but never harsh. All-wheel drive distributes torque dynamically, front, rear, left, right. In milliseconds, you could launch this truck on ice, and it would move forward like it is anchored. Top speed is electronically limited to 195 miles per hour, not because it cannot go faster, but because it does not need to. Combined fuel economy sits around 18 miles per gallon, and if that number bothers you, this vehicle was never designed with you in mind. This brings us to something important. Who exactly is this truck for? Because it is not trying to compete with mass-market pickups. This is not a Ram competitor. This is not a Ford competitor. This is something else entirely. This truck exists for buyers who already own everything, people who could buy any luxury SUV, any performance car, any supercar, and still want something that does not exist yet. Someone who needs a truck bed, but refuses to compromise on comfort, silence, and presence. Someone who wears designer clothing, off-road. Someone who values capability, but demands calm. That is the buyer this truck was engineered for, and engineering is where the money went. 7-figure development costs just to make sure the bed integration did not compromise structural rigidity, special reinforcement under the rear cabin to maintain Maybach ride quality, custom suspension tuning to allow load capacity without sacrificing isolation. This is why production is limited, not for hype, but because it is expensive and complex to build. Now let us talk about ownership, because this is where many people stop listening. Annual maintenance is estimated between $4,000 and $6,000. Insurance, depending on location, can run $8,000 to $12,000 per year. Tires, 24-inch Pirelli Scorpions, will cost around $5,500 for a full set installed. These numbers are not mistakes, they are filters. If this sounds unreasonable, then the truck is doing its job. But here is something most people do not expect. Depreciation. Limited production Maybach vehicles historically depreciate much slower than mass-market performance trucks. Over 5 years, a Ram TRX can lose 50 to 60% of its value. A Maybach GLS typically loses closer to 35 to 40%. Exclusivity protects resale. Now pricing. Expected starting price is approximately $385,000. Release timing is expected in the second quarter of 2026. Deliveries will begin in the summer, in select markets only. Not every country, not every dealer. This is intentional. Mercedes is not testing demand. They already know who is buying this. And here is the most important question. Should you? Because not every impressive vehicle is meant to be owned. Some are meant to exist. This truck was not built to convert buyers. It was built to satisfy a very small group who refuse to choose between power and peace, between utility and indulgence, between capability and calm. If you want a loud truck, this is not it. If you want attention, this is not it. If you want the fastest numbers on paper, this is not it. But if you want something that does not need to explain itself, something that moves without effort and speaks without raising its voice, then this might be one of the most fascinating vehicles ever approved for production. And that brings us back to the beginning. Maybach has never built a pickup truck until now, and they did not build this because the market demanded it. They built it because a small number of people exist in this world who will never accept either or, only both. If you appreciate deep dives like this, real analysis, not hype, make sure you are subscribed to AutoLens, because this channel is not about trends. It is about understanding what vehicles really are and why they exist. Let us know in the comments. Would you ever buy a Maybach pickup, or were you never supposed to see it at all? Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.